PvP mode is incredible. So, it's rare we see a high praise PvP post, but I've really wanted to cover this because I think people are starting to catch on the itch for PvP. Like, you can try it out for a couple times, but eventually it's going to set in that you actually enjoyed playing it. So, I just really wanted to cover this post because I think PvP is also incredible. And there's a lot of people commenting and on this post who are like, you know what, I didn't really like it PvP, but just trying it out just a couple more times, then it kind of stuck for me. So just wanted to reflect on this a bit. I have seen a lot of negative opinions on PvP, and a lot of people seem to prefer operations. Okay, prefer operations? I don't know. I think they deliver different aspects of the game. Maybe PvP was super imbalanced when the game came out, but I only just got into it now after 3 or 4 major patches. But basically, I just want to say that Saber Interactive nailed it out of the park with this implementation of a PvP first-person shooter. A huge thumbs up to the developers who put this mode together. Well, I don't know why I said FPS. Isn't this is like a shoulder shooter, but okay. I have not been this addicted to a game in years. This is the most fun I've had as long as I can remember. Yeah, something, yeah, basically. I can call myself addicted to PvP. I definitely get the itch for it every now and then. Maybe there are some balance issues that I don't know about, but my favorite thing about it is that nothing feels super annoying or glaringly overpowered like in so many other FPS games. I don't understand why you said, is this like a, it's a third person, whatever. Here's the thing. If you compare it to FPS games like Halo and Call of Duty and stuff, I definitely think this game delivers the classic feeling of PvP back in the day, but with, modern day, graphics, and honestly, I find the game mechanics of the game very refreshing, even though it gives you a bit of nostalgia. So it's interesting. It really does deliver something new but familiar. The slow pace makes engagement feel way more meaningful than in games like Call of Duty, and everything just feels crisp. Dodges feel good, the gunplay feels amazing, nothing is too annoyingly overpowered. Of course, don't mention the melee. Melee, look, I really, really love the melee combat in PvP, but it is a bit janky. It's fun though, it's very satisfying, Melee fights, once you start getting a hang of it, oh man, I hope we get a pure melee mode for PvP. I genuinely hope they don't just put PvP on the back burner, and the only complaint I have is that there are way too few maps. Yeah, we're gonna get more maps. See, this was a good post. I definitely like to hear this. I want to see everyone's reaction to this because there's gonna be somebody hating. If they change 2 things, I would play PvP daily for months, and I'm not kidding. First, we need more maps. Simple as that. 3 is never enough, and it shouldn't release in this number. I get it. I understand why people are annoyed with the maps. But 2 of the maps I really enjoy. So, I don't look at it like we have 3, just 3 maps. I look at it like we have basically 75% of the maps are good right now. I'm just kidding, but obviously, a new map's gonna be fun, but it could be bad. Who knows? Second, melee to melee fights are... Oh, they just say it sucks. Since parrying doesn't stagger or punish attacker. Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I wouldn't say it sucks, but the parrying in PvP definitely needs to give you a bit more of a reward. But that being said, stagger or punish for parry? Okay, that's kind of a hard one to kind of think on. But for the most part, what parrying is supposed to do is give you a chance to survive, so someone can help you, basically. I know that's not the best thing, but anything that kind of gives you benefits for team-oriented gameplay in this game is something I just welcome. So even though, yes, this is a bit janky, it still kind of contributes to the overall team synergy. So this isn't an issue if you're playing with your team. And, if they have a guy who, an assault, for example, whose main objective would be to take somebody out, if he couldn't take anybody out because he's currently in a parry loop, then anyone can just turn around and take him out really fast because of his low armor. So I don't know. I get it. I agree, but at the same time, the consequence of this, I don't find it to be that big of a deal. You just gain time for yourself until a teammate saves. Yeah, exactly. Melee combat needs to be better. I don't know. I'm satisfied with melee combat for PvP. But okay, let's say parrying, like let's say parrying staggers the enemy there, and then you get some shots in. I guess it really depends on the weapon at the moment, because couldn't you parry the hammer, dodge away, and then shoot them? But yeah, they could still dodge attack. I don't know. This is definitely something we're gonna have to revisit, because I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with PvP melee, but I can understand where it can, gain some improvements. Absolutely love the combat and pacing of the PvP. The only issue I have with PvP is that the matchmaking doesn't seem to do anything related to balancing skill or rank. In my experience, 80% of games are landslide either in my favor or against me. Okay, no. Okay, I'm going to shut this down right now. I agree that the matchmaking is a bit wonky. But now that we see, a lot more players contributing to PvP, the levels really don't matter that much. So if you see a team with like 425s, don't freak out. Because what is really causing these landslides is as soon as a team goes down by 50, someone on the losing team is quitting. Like, it is super easy. Like, trust me, I play so much PvP, and I see this literally all the time. Somebody is quitting. Even on winning teams sometimes, but that is rare. But dude, I'll tell you what though, a nice close game is super. Oh man, it's super satisfying. I like close games, but dude, yeah, sometimes you'll go up early and then someone on their team leaves. That's the real reason. The one thing we need in PvP is like a leaderboard. We need to give you some sort of benefit for staying in the game, because it's not really that hard to level up your classes in PvP. You can kind of just ignore it, and then eventually you'll just be max. But I mean, fair enough concern. Once a team has success, it stays together and builds momentum. Teams that lose, everything drops and keeps getting refilled with randoms with no teamwork. Yep. With no teamwork, yeah. I don't know. Sometimes you can get a random that comes in and wins. Like, I've made a couple videos that way, but it's still like pretty hard for sure. Like, if they get an early lead, it depends on the mode as well. But yeah, which is the one, yeah, where you capture the 3 points. There's a certain point in that game where if they have like, I forget, if it's like if they have like 180 or something, they can guarantee 200. So if they're up by like 75, then there's no coming back really. But yeah, don't quit games too early. If you want to quit like later down the line, sure, but nothing beats a comeback in this game, dude. It's very fun. I sucked at PvP until I started using tactical and the auto bolter. Ooh, try out the heavy one. But I mean, yeah, that's still good too, because the accuracy. That's a really good weapon, and the class is easy to use. Yes, it is. So you can learn the maps and worry about the other classes later. Yep. 100%. That's exactly how I started too. I went directly in using tactical, and I like pretty much maxed out tactical maybe like 2 levels faster than every other class. But that being said, I do enjoy playing all of them. It really depends on my mood, but they all bring something different, so that's why I really enjoy it. But honestly, like 9 times out of 10, I want to be playing tactical. Half the battle is knowing how to flank the enemy team. Yes. Yeah, there's some good flanking points. Here's the thing. Long flanks in this game never work out. You really want a quick flank. Like something where the battle just started, you're on the front lines. If you can find a way to just kind of like, I don't know, kind of like skirt by a corner real quick, like race around a corner and get behind them. Yeah, those type of flanks are really good. But if the fight didn't even start and you're on your way like to the other side of the map just so you can take one route directly behind their team, but it takes like it takes a long time. Your team just started a 5v6 while you're kind of just, moseying around the map. So You want quick flanks. Look for quick flanks. That's why Vanguard's the best flanking class, because they can just, they can just use the grapple and speed right up to a point that is a perfect flanking point. And assaults are also pretty good at that as well. I'm level 25 with max out rank on every class. I find the complaints about this game to be incomplete, okay? Every game will have balance issues. The glaring problem with this one is certain weapons and matchmaking, but I think the real issue is the lack of counterplay. Certain weapons being overpowered and underpowered is fine. In fact, this game really doesn't have a weapon or class that is blatantly overpowered. The shot grenade is probably the best example. It is definitely the most versatile, and my default loadout bearing certain builds. However, the shot grenade is not powerful to the point where you have to have it to win. Okay. Somebody does, though. Of course you can use the Melta. I mean, do they? I don't know. There's certain classes the shot grenade definitely benefits quite a bit. And the shot grenade is also annoying against certain classes like the bulwark and stuff, so it could keep you from a win if nobody on your team has it, but I will say that, yeah, as a individual, you don't absolutely need the shot grenade. I agree with that. Situationally, it will be more useful than others, and this is fine, especially since it gets unlocked early. Matchmaking does suck, even though level is meaningless other than having a few extra choices for a weapon. It ultimately comes down to experience. I've only seen 1 or 2 games where a group of 25 lose to a low-level team. The experience difference is very obvious to anyone who's played enough. Yeah, I guess. Of course, right. A group of level 25s are going to beat a low-level team, but that's a rare showing. Like, I've only seen a group of 25s like once or twice. Most of the times it's like there's 2 or 3, and then the other team has like 2 or 3 high-level players. But yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten tilted at this game because we're playing point objectives, and then, just like half the team doesn't care about it. And I get it. This game's like pretty casual. It's kind of laid back, and that's fine. I definitely need to control my expectations, but some of these games are legit just like 1 or 2 players getting on point away from a victory, so I don't know. It's hard not to notice it. Every high level know to start moving forward. Every high level knows to start moving towards the next objective just before 10 seconds in capture and control. We know where the next point is going to be before the indicator appears. Well, see, no, that's true. And the thing is, there's actually classes, there's maybe 1 or 2 classes that can take advantage of the fact that people know that, like Sniper, the Sniper can get out a little bit early and set up a nice trap for somebody as they're going to the next point. Having terrific aim isn't going to help you when the entire opposing team is already at the next objective before one of you arrives. Yeah, no, seriously. But yeah, I think that's, that's by design. That is basically rewarding teamwork. If everyone's on the same page, then I don't know, man. Definitely. I think I'm underappreciating the amount of teamwork in this game that is possible, and maybe I should start reaching out and trying to make better plays like that, like actually calling out the Sniper to have them go on a mission with you to the next point so you can get it easier, and then leaving the classes behind that can get there faster, something like that. Matchmaking needs to shift players around after. Yeah, no, that's true, 100%. Like after every other game, definitely switch up players for sure. The problem that bugs me the most is the lack of counterplay in some situations, Assault being the worst culprit. Okay, so I definitely am starting to understand. The triple spam jump is kind of insane. However, Assaults still, they can't just jump into a team and do that. They kind of can, but if your team really just lets that happen, then that's kind of on you. I did recently do a Sniper video where I tried to pick off Assaults and stuff, and most of the time, if the Assaults came after me, they were so out of position that they were going to die even if they even if they hit me. But most of the times I was able to punish them just for jumping in the air, and the way you're able to do that is kind of, first of all, expect them to jump in the air because they're going to do it, and be far enough away from the points where you can see them do that, basically. If you're a sniper and, of course you got to get on point when you can, and then that's where the problems happen. That's where the assault's going to jump right on you because you're the last player on your team. And yeah, that's where counterplay can be an issue, but your entire class can counter their kit. You just have to be in the right spot, but vice versa. Space Marine's 1 assault playstyle required rapid movement in and out using pistol, jetpack, and chainsword to kill their target. You have to because a single melta shot ends your dance permanently. I mean, that's still true. If an assault jumps on a tactical or a heavy and they have a melta, that assault's gone. It was skill-based and it was extremely fun. Fighting against Space Marine 2 assault is not fun. Getting hit by a ground pound should not mean my options are now to hope my teammate bails me out or the assault makes a mistake. Yeah. No, I get that. Like, yeah, definitely a counterplay in that situation, you have no options, really. I mean, even playing assault, it's like you jump up in the air, you land down on somebody. If they dodge out of it, even though they already were stunned, you can just do a dodge forward and hit them. But even in that scenario, if the assault lands on you and then goes for a swing, I believe you have enough time to recover a parry. So there's one option here we have yet to kind of explore. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this, though, because I've been playing Assault for quite a bit, and I see really mixed opinions on how it should be nerfed or if it should be nerfed at all. And I definitely understand the frustrations with counterplay in this game. I've seen a few comments like that as well. But, like, ultimately, I just kind of steer them into the direction where it's like, you can find opportunities here. It's just, it's frustrating. So it's kind of hard to be optimistic in the situations where you're frustrating. So in the situations where you're frustrated, it's kind of hard to be optimistic because you're mad. But when you're thinking positively, you can actually find the opportunities. Basically, this is bad gameplay mechanic. My options should not only be go undercover. My options against a bulwark should not only be retreat. Well, it's definitely not retreat. This is my main gripe with this otherwise fantastic game. Okay, yeah, some of these situations are definitely a bit frustrating, but these situations are, like, you're only going to have to retreat from a bulwark if you're alone with them. And if you did retreat and find a teammate, if that bulwark follows you, you guys are going to 2v1 that bulwark who's out of position. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. Some of these situations are, like, they happen, right? But you just have to keep your cool and realize that this is a team-based game. It is probably, like, it doesn't seem that, like, complicated, right? But it's very easy to get a run going when you stick with your team. So, I don't know. Just, you definitely got to be careful walking around these hallways by yourself because, yeah, you will definitely run into a bulwark. But, again, retreat, find a teammate, 2v1 that bulwark. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. But okay, this was actually kind of a good conversation about PvP and where it's at in the game. But yeah, this is definitely the video where I feel like people are kind of enjoying PvP now. But there are still some of these issues that we should continue to discuss just so we can kind of get like an accurate representation of how the community is feeling. But yeah, this is definitely something that I've heard before, and I think there is some merit into it, but you just have to, like, keep your cool a bit because as soon as you get tilted, that's when you just walk on the point and just get destroyed. You know what I mean? Yeah, the ground pound, if it's a 1v1 situation and you got ground pounded and you parry, like, yeah, you're probably going to die eventually. But there's not a nerf that can really fix that. Like, to be honest. If you didn't die in that situation, depends on your class. You don't have a melta there. You don't have the best weapon to counter the assault. If that's an issue, if it happens once, that's like, okay, that sucks. But if it happens twice or the third time, it's like, okay, you have to figure out something. This is the only player on the team who's going to stop you. Why not run their counter weapon? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Some of the stuff is definitely has merit, but a lot of it you can play out of.